Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. In this video, I bought a oil temperature sensor. I'm going to screw this into my oil drain bolt. I already tapped the bolt out, put the sensor in it. I'm getting ready to install that bolt in the oil pan. That will allow me to monitor the oil temperature. So let me get started installing my closed shift oil temperature sensor. The gauge comes with a 1-year warranty to the original purchaser. I'm not going to read that to you guys. If you guys don't know how to read, find somebody that can read it for you. And here's the installation instructions. I'm going to go ahead and go through those, read those, and install it. I'm not going to read these either. We'll just talk about it if I see anything that needs to be discussed. Instructions are pretty basic. They just tell you where to hook the wires up to so you can get the reading and get your lighting and stuff in the gauge. I'm having issues getting wires up to the pillar like they did here because of the way the dash is designed. So I pulled this piece out here and I pulled this piece away here. I pulled my little custom bracket off there, and I'm going to drill a hole in the side of the dash here. That will allow me to access that pillar area from under the speaker. I went on ahead and I drilled 3 holes right there. You can see those 3 holes right there. So now I should be able to pass through. There they are. I should be able to pass through wires under the speaker area. So you can see my finger. And that's coming through the speaker area. So I'm going to be able to get my wires through there for anything I need through those holes there under the dash. Let me go ahead and proceed with redoing my boost gauge wires. Here's the wire that came with the harness with the gauge. Looks like 18 to me. I'm going to use this 18 gauge thermostat wire to extend my harness where I need it to be. So I'm going to connect these together and run this wire through the hole on the dash and down there, and then wire it up to the wires I need it wired up to. Let me go ahead and do that. I put one of these ends on the ground wire in the harness, which is number 3, and I grounded it right there. And I tested it from this bolt here to the number 3 hole in there, and the ground is good. I got the orange hooked up to the white on the dimmer. That's a headlight switch source. But I got everything strung up in here and try to get these wires set in here so this thing is not sticking out bad, and I can secure it down in here. My yellow constant power, I had a constant power down here, not sure where it came from, maybe from outside to the engine going back to the tow hitch. Red, I plugged that into this socket there. Right next to that fog light relay, there's a socket where a relay can plug in. The bottom middle is a switched power. The far right middle is a constant power. So I plugged that red into that switched power. Of course, I grounded the black in the pillar. I hooked that orange up to the dimmer white, because that comes on when you turn the headlights on. And then the green, I'm running through the firewall loom. I'm going to hook it up to this white on the sensor, and then I'm gonna hook this black up on the sensor to a ground. So my next move is under there. This sensor has a M12 size washer that would go on it, but it's hard to find those in a crushed aluminum. So I picked up these washers here from, I think it's O'Reilly's. That's the part number on them. They're for oil drain bolts. I'm gonna put that on there, tighten that sensor and that drain bolt. You can see how far it comes down on the end. Then I'm probably going to trim it so I could slide my 17mm over the oil bolt. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Trimmed a little rubber off that thing. I just snugged it in. Didn't really tighten it, but if it leaks, I'm going to pull it and use a washer, crush washer from one of the turbo feed lines. I got an old washer on there. I'm going to go ahead and swap this out. Find my 17. This other bolt from the sensor was a 14. Have a clean drop pan. Any oil I lose, I'm going to put back in the engine. Have the sensor installed there. I lost an ounce of oil, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'll check it again when I get the car back off the ramps. I'm going to take this ground wire and the power line, run it over here to this power steering. I'm going to zip tie it to there. I'm going to ground the ground there, and then I'm going to feed the feed line along that harness with the transmission speed sensor and up to the wire that goes in through the firewall. My green wire should be right there in that little bundle. So I'm going to take that green wire, clean the end off, and run it down under this tube toward that transmission wire and hook it up like I said. If you solder this connection, you'll be a lot better off. But anyway, you want to use the outer rim to hold the wire, the inner rim to crimp it, and this is the one that plugs in to the white one. Green goes to white. I'm going to trim a little bit more of that off so that it can plug in all the way. Get this thing crimped over like that, and then slide this long thing over there. Then you can plug it in to the wire down there. I'm gonna hook this one up to the other end of the green wire down there, and then I'm gonna seal it. So that's gonna be shrink wrapped. If for some reason you don't have a shrink wrap connector, weatherproof it some kind of way. Put a caulking in it or something. Just seal that tip of it off so moisture doesn't get down in there. I got this wiring from Home Depot. It's got a picture of a trailer on it, so I assume it's quality enough for automotive use. 16 gauge. Here's my sensor. I see my rubber starting to hang out a little bit, so I'm going to check that for leaks. 50 miles, 100 miles, and 500 miles. If it leaks, like I said, I'm going to pull it and put a brass or aluminum washer on there. I tied the wires over to my power steering line. I grounded it right there with the black. Secured the green with the transmission speed sensor wires. I should be good to go. And as you can see, my pan is lower than my wires, so I'm not having any worry about those. Gauge is installed, ready to go. I just want to do a recap on these installations. Your yellow goes to a constant source of unswitched 12 volts. That means whether the key's in the car or not, you have 12 volts. Found this 12 volts active in two places. There's a yellow plug up under the dash. That red wire is live 12 volts. Another place is up here. There's a relay socket next to that white jumper relay for that 213. There's a socket next to it. In the far right side, in the middle, that has an active 12 volts on it. The ignition switched. That means when you turn the key on, this becomes active. Up there in that relay slot again, the bottom row in the middle, when you turn the ignition to run, that gets power. So that's where I'll put my red. But I believe this brown one may also get power when you turn the key on. Nonetheless, I use that one up there. The next option was the black vehicle ground. There's a grounding post here behind this installation. You see that there? There's several ground posts there. Or if you're using a pillar pod, since that wire was long enough from my pillar, I grounded it to one of the 3 screws that screw into the trim held against the pillar. I screwed it to the bottom one. That's where my black ground went. Next, my orange switched headlight source. I pulled this rear fog out and this dimmer, and on the dimmer, when you pull a dimmer out, you look at the plug, and I think it's at number 3 position. It has 2 white lines coming out of it. That is where I put my dimmer switch wire, the orange one. And then of course the green, I ran outside of the vehicle through the firewall pass-through, connected it to the white wire on the sensor, and then the black wire on the sensor, I took it to a ground close to the sensor. So that's the recap. Okay, I'm gonna fire it up. There we go, folks. Less than 100 degrees on the oil. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.